Hi, and welcome to the Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look at what's happening in our city, with the most interesting stories from Broadway to Bradford. I'm Lindsay Paris, and later you'll see segments on this month's VIP Walk for Peace and the newest addition to the team at MakeIT Haverhill. But first, 20,000 dogs and cats have seen a better life over the past 11 years, thanks to Sweet Paws Animal Rescue, based in Groveland. The volunteer-based nonprofit fosters and finds homes for abandoned and displaced animals from Massachusetts, Mississippi, and Alabama. Their southern team in Mississippi and Alabama rescues up to 150 animals per month to be adopted out to a new, loving home here in New England. Their motto is saving people one animal at a time, and I saw this firsthand while meeting the Sweet Paws team.
So this is Lexi. I adopted Lexi about 7 years ago from Sweet Paws. She was my first quote-unquote foster fail. She's one of the reasons I'm not allowed to foster anymore. She's almost 10 years old. She's quite sweet. We love her.
Sweet Paws Rescue, we are a boots-on-the-ground, foster-based, volunteer-run, volunteer-powered dog and cat rescue based here in Groveland, Massachusetts. We combat the overpopulation that exists in the United States, most predominantly in the South. We're also a fantastic resource for local cats and dogs in need. Due to COVID, there are more cats and dogs that need new homes than ever. So in 2005, I had just finished my master's degree, and Hurricane Katrina happened, and I didn't have any experience rescuing dogs or cats, and I saw a dog on a roof. So I just bought a one-way ticket to New Orleans, and I ended up staying there for about a month. I came back to Massachusetts and just decided that I wanted to make rescue a part of my life. And I started Sweet Paws in 2011. So I was working both at Northeastern University and running the rescue. About 6 years ago, I decided to make the leap and do rescue full-time. So since we've been incorporated, we have saved almost 20,000 cats and dogs, which is pretty extraordinary, being volunteer-run and volunteer-based. We save about maybe 75 to 150 cats and dogs every month. Pre-COVID, about 90% of our animals came from Mississippi and Alabama, the areas where the overpopulation is profound. And post-COVID, about 43% of our animals are coming from right here in Massachusetts. So our Sweet Paws Rescue Southern team, they are the ones that are fielding the calls from people who are, I know it's awful, but dumping puppies on the side of the road, giving up their animals, moving away and leaving them chained. And the reason why is because where we rescue in Mississippi and Alabama, there are no animal services at all. There's no place where you can bring an unwanted pet, hence the reason that they get dumped on the side of the road or abandoned.
Meeting Sweet Paws and Jeanette and Cynthia, it changed my life because before I met them, I was just walking chained dogs around town, like 30,000 steps a day for 2.5 years by myself, and I didn't know anybody. And so when I met Cynthia and Jeanette, it's like I'd made it. I made it, you know. So I finally had people helping me on my journey.
I got started with Sweet Paws about 11 years ago. I was in rescue in Mississippi and nowhere to send dogs. Cynthia and me became friends, and so I've been sending dogs up here for 10, 11 years, and it's just magical. Our dogs live a fairy tale life up here.
Believe it or not, animals are being dumped up in Massachusetts at a rate that we've never seen before. Local surrenders, local strays have been a big part of our current rescue operations. So an animal control officer will call us and say, this animal hasn't been claimed, the 10-day holdup is up in 2 days, do you want this dog, cat, dogs? And so we say yes, if it's adoptable, we take it.
In June of 2013, my wife died, and I live on the only house on a dead end, off a dead end, so the house got real quiet. I met Sweet Paws at a Groveland days, and I said, gee, I could foster. I got a fenced yard. Our motto is saving people one dog at a time, and it's actually true. Particularly for the elderly, you're very isolated, And having the companionship of an animal makes a huge difference in your life. I personally have fostered 163 dogs until they were adopted. And I also have 3 foster fails. We bonded so much I figured I'll keep them. And living alone I can get away with a lot.
If you're interested in adopting a dog or a cat, you go onto our website, you fill out an online adoption application. Then you are usually in a couple of days connected to an adoption coordinator. And that person's job, always a volunteer, is to work with adopters specifically to help guide them to figure out what's going to be the best animal for them.
So I'm Amy and I've adopted Bryn from Sweet Paws. My father has been a foster for Sweet Paws about 10 years and found my perfect match. She is such a little snuggler, and it was nice to finally give a home to one of the dogs.
Without our volunteers and our fosters, Sweet Paws doesn't exist. We're foster-based, we're volunteer-powered, so if we don't have those, we can't do what we want to do or what we need to do.
We don't run without volunteers, period. Fosters, volunteers, adoption coordinators, transport drivers, veterinarians, vet techs. It really does take a village. So I always ask people, how many times have you talked to somebody where they would say, if I won the lottery, I'd want to buy a farm and save all the animals? Well, now that's what Sweet Paws is doing. We have signed a purchase and sale for 70 acres in Bradford, Massachusetts. We are going to be starting an animal sanctuary. We will be rescuing different species, so probably donkeys, pigs, sheep, goats, chickens. Additionally, for this piece of property, we're going to be having an off-leash dog area.
We're going to be having a Casa de Cats. Cats are one of the most needed as far as rescue goes in this area. Kittens are easy. Cats tend to sit longer or not get adopted at all. Casa de Cats will be an open concept, open adoption, open living area for Merrimack Valley cats only. If somebody comes and they're hanging out and they fall in love with a cat and want to adopt it, they can adopt that cat. But if not, the cats always will have a safe and loving place to live.
We will also be offering veterinary services as well. We're going to have a vet suite and we're really excited about that. And we'll be offering humane education programming for all of the students in the Merrimack Valley and basically the greater Boston area as well.
So Sweet Paws' tagline is saving people one animal at a time. And to be at pickup day on adoptions and to see somebody waiting outside and when their animal appears through the door, the face, the crying, the laughing, the kids, it's just amazing. We always say that once they're picked up off the side of the road, the animal has entered into the sweet life because there's just so many people working to make sure that this animal is going to have the best life ever.
So last year we celebrated our 10th year and we have saved close to 20,000 animals. The biggest reason why we want to have our animal sanctuary is that Sweet Paws really wants to leave our forever stamp on this world and have a legacy so that when we're all long gone, that the organization will be able to save animals going forward in the future.
Sweet Paws is always in need of volunteers and are especially in need of those willing to take in foster animals. If you're interested in fostering, Sweet Paws will provide food, vet care, and supplies for foster animals at no cost. And if you're looking to adopt a dog or cat, Sweet Paws has many animals still looking for their forever homes. Visit sweetpawsrescue.org to learn more about volunteer opportunities or to begin the animal adoption process. The Haverhill High School VIP team once again assembled for its 15th annual Walk for Peace, which started at Gar Park on Saturday, October 1st, and continued their 1.5-mile journey through Haverhill's downtown. The students and staff of VIP, along with Haverhill Police, dignitaries, and community leaders, marched in solidarity to help spread awareness and bring an end to violence. Here's a look at some of the highlights of the walk.
that we know in Haverhill is that we know that peace is possible. We have all the resources here in Haverhill to make sure that we have peace in our streets.
So I look around all the youth that are here, and I'm so proud of all of you. You're the future leaders of our community. You should be really, really proud of yourselves. We're here to support you.
Peace is the silent happiness. Peace is the chaos of love and life. Peace is being okay with the messy. That is peace. We come together today for the celebration of the peace we need in our lives. We come together to live right here, right now, in our moment of peace.
The Walk for Peace drew a large crowd of all ages, as you could see. Join the next Walk for Peace, which will be held on a Saturday in early October 2023. MakeIT Haverhill is growing and has now welcomed its first official employee, Program Director Lisbeth Valdez. Ms. Valdez, who came to MakeIT Haverhill from Hands to Help, a community resource center in Lawrence, has hit the ground running, working on MakeIT Haverhill's job fairs, English language learner classes, computer classes, and more. We visited MakeIT Haverhill on a recent afternoon to meet Ms. Valdez and learn more about their latest programs.
My name is Lisbeth Valdez, and I'm the program director at MakeIT Haverhill. It's been a long journey. So the reason why I say that is because I was born and raised in Dominican Republic, and I moved to the United States, specifically Lawrence, Massachusetts, in 2008. When I was in high school, I had no idea that college was a possibility due to the language barrier, right? I didn't know if I had the academic skills. I was able to go to UMass Dartmouth, and I completed my master's at Merrimack College. I was an assistant director for Hands to Help, which is a community resource center in Lawrence. I was helping people with the ESL classes, the tutoring program for their kids. If people needed help with their resume, if people needed help translating a document, I was able to do that. And then I ended up here at MakeIT Haverhill.
MakeIT Haverhill is really all about promoting family financial security and stability. What we do is we focus on English language learners, computer literacy, digital literacy and equity as we call it, as well as promoting workforce development, job fairs. It's all about helping people find a job. We're an immigrant community here in the Mount Washington neighborhood, about 8,000 people out of the close to 70,000 people here in Haverhill. 50% of the people that live in our neighborhood speak Spanish or another language, and we need to be able to meet people wherever they are in their life. We looked far and wide to hire somebody like Lisbeth, who has the same life experience as many of the people that live in our neighborhood, plus a great education and great experience at Merrimack College. She's going to be a huge asset to taking MakeIT Haverhill to the next level of what we want to do.
We're MakeIT Haverhill, but we're also a project of community action. So we have the digital literacy and equity program, and we have a workforce development program, which is the job fairs. The fact of the matter is that we're growing, and as we're growing, people are asking for different programs, right? But we don't have the capacity. I'm the only full-time staff member. I think our first priority right now is hiring staff members, whether it's interns or a Vista member. In the future, we hope this is a center that people can walk in, sign up for classes, sign up for absolutely anything that they can think of.
So we do our English language learner classes on Monday and Wednesday night, 7 to 8 o'clock. It's all drop-in, meaning you can come as you please. Then we have our digital literacy and equity classes, our computer classes. Those are on Tuesday night for basic beginners. And then we have a computers for business class that's on Wednesday night right now. Those are ongoing now this fall, and they'll be continued in January with new signups available. And then we have our monthly job fairs. We usually have 8 to 10 employers and usually get 40 to 50 people that show up looking for a job.
Haverhill is huge, and there are other neighborhoods that are doing fairly well. That because they're doing fairly well, it basically hides the needs of the Mount Washington community and probably other communities as well. A lot of people were telling me, this is exactly where you're needed, because it's a community that has been forgotten. And I'm hoping that I can grow as much as I can with the community as well. So both of us growing together.
Residents of Mount Washington and other city neighborhoods are encouraged to visit MakeIT Haverhill's location at 301 Washington Street for a variety of job placement and learning opportunities. More new programming is in development for upcoming months with the help of Ms. Valdez. Early voting continues at Haverhill City Hall for the upcoming general election. All early voting is taking place at the former RMV location in the basement of City Hall, most easily accessible from Newcomb Street. Early voting hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, and 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. The last day for early voting is Friday, November 4th, just before Election Day on Tuesday, November 8th. This Saturday, October 29th, is Trick-or-Treat Night here in Haverhill from 5 to 7 p.m. So don't forget to pick up a few bags of candy, leave the porch light on, and get ready for the sugar-fueled procession of tiny ghosts, ninjas, and princesses to your doorstep. If you have a story or event you'd like to see featured on the Haverhill Journal, call us at 978-372-8070 or email info@haverhillcommunitytv.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or at our HC Media YouTube channel. And that's what's happening in Haverhill this month. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll be back in November. Happy Halloween, everyone. Good night.
Halloween.